fam. It's Monday morning. It is November the 30th. Today is actually Sunday afternoon, but I wanted to welcome everybody, the full 8th grade cast, full 8th grade roster. Now going to get to start to really get to know all of you better, which I'm really looking forward to. So this week, going to try to just reset expectations, talk about standards, talk about kind of what we're all going to do, get to know each other, reset our goals. And to start here, what I'm sharing with you is a conversation I had over the weekend with my best buddy Will, just kind of about where we were at. We were just having a check-in conversation, talking about what we want to do going forward, both as teachers and in our partnership and the work that we're doing. And I wanted to share it with you. The actual conversation is about an hour, so if you want to listen to our full podcast, you can hear the whole thing. But I wanted to share this little chunk with you because I think it's important. Just talking about complacency and really overcoming that feeling of just checking boxes. And I know that everybody goes through it. I'm going through it. I have gone through it. But let's work that we're not just checking boxes just to check boxes. Let's stay focused. Let's maintain our purpose. Let's get refocused. And that's what we want to really get done this week, is to get refocused on our purpose, why we're here, and not just to get good grades, but what you really want out of your education as a whole. So check the video out. There's a few questions that go with it. And I can't wait to have our first live session tomorrow with individual classes. I'm looking forward to it. So hit me up if you need anything. I'm going to be getting in contact with a few of you during my office hours. Study hall is from 1 to 2. Hit me up. Let me know if you need anything. Otherwise, let's have a great day. Final day of November.
Checking a box is not bad.
Right. Yep.
If you understand the meaning behind each check. If you're doing it just to check a box, then no. But if you're doing it because you're wanting to, that what you're saying, I was just reading Hamish Brewer's book, Relentless.
Mm-hmm.
You shout out, man. Man, oh my God, man. I don't know if you've read it yet.
I haven't.
Man, it is a must. It will change how you view your role as an educator in the classroom. I can say that single-handedly, and I've been teaching for 14 years. And even though there are some things in there that are just ahas, like, oh yeah. But the way he shows you the why behind it and the results that followed is amazing. But he talks about in there about communicating with students and how that is the most important thing that you can do. And in a virtual space, it's different. You know what I mean? Because like in my classroom, I communicate virtually and face to face. I have my kids email me, I message them, and I had a kid messaging me while we're sitting in the class together. Come on, bro. And I pulled that commercial. I'm like, I say, are you responding to my statement that I made in person through a DM? And everybody in the classroom just fell out laughing.
Yeah, and the car commercial where they talk about the guy gets a text and he drives over to the other guy's house. Yeah.
And so, but that face to face, I have the luxury of being able to walk around and talk to my kids. I get to see them in other teachers' classrooms. I get to, see them in the hallway. So that communication line is always there. I'm always talking to them. But virtually, you don't have that. And especially when you have kids who show up, don't turn their camera on, or who show up and they're not engaged because they're not doing any work. They're just showing up just to check a box. And again, I showed up, but you didn't do anything. You didn't participate. So again, box checking, and how I feel about box checking. I think it's it pains me But at the same time, I think about the fact that as I've gotten older and my memory does not work um,
Absolutely.
as great as it should, um, then for me, making a list and checking off what I've completed and what I still need to do, that's checking boxes. Knowing that I have this to do, this to do, this to do, this to do, that's checking boxes. That's an expectation. And the check acknowledges a completion of the expectation. Now, would
Well,
I make a list arbitrarily and just say, let me just put some things on the list to make it
yeah,
look good?
yeah.
No, I
And
wouldn't. Everything would have a purpose. And it's just, if your administration is not communicating to you the why, then you have to find your own why within it. Why do I need, it's funny because I've been going back to, my refrigerator. I have the golden circle um, from Simon Sinek. I drew it on my refrigerator um, because every time I go there, I want to be able to find the why in everything I do.
well, and maybe it's the time of year, but I feel like I've gotten bogged down with the stuff that I need to do that I forgot why I'm doing the stuff that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really a point that I'm thinking about when I make lists, because you know how I am. Like, I get spotty and I get flighty and I have a hard time, and I get into this mode where I feel like as long as I'm doing something that's productive, and I can find a lot of things that I can do that are unproductive. So for me, even when I start to make lists, just remembering why, and we were talking about getting back to a vision board, so at least you
Mm-hmm.
see every day, like, hey, this is why I'm doing this. This is where I want to go. This is where I want to be. Even just talking with I wrote on my notes here, like having a conversation with my kids next week about, are you just checking boxes? Are you checking boxes just to say you check the boxes, or are you moving forward?
Are you actually making progress? Right.
Yeah. And it's so strange to me, and we could go to town on this about how you're still to some degree in person. Almost everywhere where I am, Minnesota, Wisconsin, has gone virtual, because somehow Minnesota and Wisconsin have become hotbeds. It's sad to see, and it's difficult, but I mean, for me, as I'm looking at this, just from what I need, what do you do every day or what do you do every day to stay on purpose, to stay on track with that purpose? I mean, because I think that's where I got to get back to, because even still, I write all these things down that I want to do. I want to write macro goals. I want to write micro goals. And I know the big things that we're trying to get done, but I even struggled to just stay within those purposes and really stay focused, and ask myself, am I making progress, or am I doing things that are going to keep me in the same spot I am?
To stay on purpose. And it's funny because, I just finished my chapter 1 for my dissertation, and it is the statement of purpose. Um, to stay on purpose, you must first have a goal. Um, and I think a lot of times where we get off is that we say we want to do things on purpose, so we start immediately giving ourselves tasks to do to stay busy without really giving ourselves a goal of what we want to accomplish. Because without a goal, it doesn't matter what task I have. It doesn't matter the task, because if I don't have a goal, then I'm just, quote unquote, doing busy work. And that is the greatest enemy to purpose, because you're not getting anywhere closer to where you want to go because you don't even know where you're going. That's like, I can remember my wife and I, pre-COVID, when we would have those moments where we didn't take food out and we were hungry and we want to eat something, and my wife's like, "Well, let's just get in the car and drive." Absolutely not. That is something I won't do. Just drive until I find something. No.
Mm. I'm just picturing all of the things that are like the most proximal to your house. And I know exactly from your house where Whataburger is. I know where Krispy Kreme is. I know. Ooh.
And see, and look how flighty you're getting, because you're not even seeing it, but you know what's there.
Oh, I know exactly what's there.
And so since you know what's there in your mind's eye, think about being hungry and driving, then you want everything. Versus saying, no, let's narrow it down now. Let's get this out now and say, this is what we want. Let's go get this. Even to the point where we made a spinner. You put the choices on there and just give it a spin. If it's fast food or if it's takeout, it's like, but you have to be able to make that. You have to have a goal, is what I'm saying. You have to have a desired end. And I think that is where, if you want to start doing things on purpose, you have to start thinking end results. And once you think end result, now what do I have to do every day to reach that end result? Knowing that I'm not going to reach that end result in a day. I'm not going to reach it in 2 days. It should be so lofty. I love what did Hal call them? BHAGs. Those big, hairy, audacious goals. When you have those type of goals, you're not going to accomplish the big goal all at once. But it's once you have the big one, then now let's scale it back. Let's reverse engineer this thing and say, what do I need to be doing every single day? I couldn't say 6 months ago, oh, I'm going to start doing 50 push-ups in the morning, 50 push-ups at night. Because that 50 push-ups in the morning would hurt. And, make me not want to do the 50 at night. Mm-hmm. So I had to break it up and say, okay, you know what? I'm just going to do sets of 10 until I can't do anymore. Then when I get home, I'm going to do sets of 10 until I can't do anymore. And before I go to bed, I'm going to do sets of 10 until I get to 100. And so once I got that in my place, then it started getting to the point to where I'm pushing out 40 push-ups before I just stop. And my body's like, okay, stop and hold up and rest. Because I've set a goal to what I want to be able to do. And my body will respond if I give it to it in little bitty increments. Mm. It's those little day-to-day things that make the difference in the big goal. And to stay on purpose, it's a matter of keeping those little bitty things in front of you, asking yourself why, or sometimes asking yourself why not. When you get in those thinking, thinking synapses where you're like, why do I need to call parents so much? Why do I need to connect with students so much? Then ask yourself, why not? Why is important, but why not is also important as well. Because once you find out why not, then it's like, I don't really have a reason not to call them. Or if I could say, well, it's not going to make a difference. You don't even know it. That's like the person who gets the diet plan and says, oh, it doesn't matter what you give me. It's not going to work anyway. Then with your mind in that position, it's not going to work. The man who never saved a dime will say, oh, saving money is worthless. But for the man who saved a dime every single day, he can say, no, it does pay off. Saving a dime a day. Well, if you do that for an entire year, you'll have money saved just on a dime a day.
Yeah. And the thing that I've been, and this has been a struggle for a long time, but thinking as we're doing, goal setting and purpose, taking the time to really think back to how far I've come. Like, I think sometimes I get so fixated on where we're trying to go, where I'm trying to go as a person, where I'm trying to go, that I don't take time to appreciate and really look back at what I've done and how far I've come. And also, in the best times, what habits were I in, or was I in? What was I doing at those times where things were really clicking? What was I doing at those times when I was really getting a lot done and being productive? And
You had the command center, and you had your goals posted on the command center board. You know what I mean?
when I still lived in Texas, my house had this front dining room, and it was just me and the Colonel living there at the time. And I decided to take the dining room and turn it into an office, and I put like a 4x8 whiteboard on the wall, and I would just fill it up and I would write, and I was in there every day. And I think that's a habit I need to get back into, is really having things posted, and really not just having them posted, but intentionally looking at them every day.
I just wrote that down. Set goals, revisit goals.
And it is a little different being a married man and having to make my different things fit into the overall decor scheme of our life, which is so Christmas-tastic right now. I can barely stand it.
Are you watching Hallmark?
I bet I've watched 15 Hallmark movies in the last 3 weeks. There is also
I've kind of skated around them so far, so I'm pretty excited.
Netflix Operation Christmas Drop is wonderful.
Operation Christmas Drop. Okay. Maybe we'll make that one a family one.
You should. It's very good. Yeah, but I mean, just sitting here thinking, and even just in this conversation, like, I can promise you on Monday, I'm going to show my kids a chunk of this video that we just got done talking about. And in thinking about what I could do, like, this is more, and kind of coming back to purpose, this is more of myself that I could share with my kids that I don't. I could share your wisdom, our wisdom, once a week with my kids.
And it's funny you say that.
Huge difference.
It's funny you say that, because every Monday I call it my Mamba Mentality Mondays, where I find motivational videos and I share it with the kids. And I said to myself, why am I finding motivational videos? I could easily do an audio of myself and put it behind pictures and let the pictures roll and let me talk to my kids, because I want the videos to be under. The challenge has always been finding videos that are under 5 minutes, because a lot of those motivational videos are, 7, 8, 9 minutes long. And I want to make sure every class period gets it. And I have some classes that are 47 minutes, some that are 90 minutes. So if I make it too long, then I'm stealing too much math time from my 47. And, if it's not long enough, then, I'm not really worried about long enough, because, I think you can have one conversation and in a minute exchange get so much wisdom in what you're doing. But I think that I'm going to start doing voiceovers on my own and playing around with doing that, because, again, it is important for us to not become so, what's the word I'm looking for? Complacent?
I was going to say stagnant was the word.
Stagnant, yeah. That,
complacent.
That we kind of get into cruise control. And I don't use cruise control on my own vehicle.
Really?
I don't.
Even when you're going, even if you got out into West Texas, and
if I'm going long distances, it would be, to me, it makes me nervous, because I feel like if I'm not regulating my speed, then I'm not being alert.
Fair. It's just one more thing for you to pay attention to and keep you focused on what you're doing.
Right, because I'll easily fall asleep. We know that.